People ask me all the time, Mike, you've done videos like horror books for fantasy fans and things like that. Mike, back today to talk a little, maybe some books if you're a big fantasy fan, you never really read a lot of science fiction, you're like, hey, what's a good gateway for some sci-fi as a fantasy reader primarily? Now with me, I think that there's always a fine line between what's sci-fi, what's fantasy. There's a reason sci-fi fantasy has kind of become like a genre, or sci-fantasy as it were. It's going to be no surprise to anyone here that I'm going to mention my favorite book of all time, which is Dune by Frank Herbert. Now, why would I recommend Dune to a fantasy fan? Political intrigue, prophecy, desert mysticism, all those things that we do know and love about the fantasy genre. I've always felt like this one just kind of reads like epic fantasy in space, I feel like that's something that's quite common in fantasy stories, is I feel like they focus so much more on the characters, where sci-fi will usually focus on the ideas and the science and, how quantum mechanics work, Fantasy readers who love character-first stories, I think you'll probably enjoy what you get out of Murderbot. I have to say this one, you probably won't be surprised, again, if you've been here a little while, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This, guys, is just multiverse travel with like big destiny energy, I guess you'd say. Portal fantasy. Is all this is. It's just a portal fantasy. And if you've gotten into that kind of genre, the multiverse, the other worlds than these kind of thing, you're a big Dark Tower fan, I think you'll like this a bit. And I love the idea of being able to go to other worlds, see different versions of yourself. But what I like he does about this is it's like infinite worlds, infinite lives, this quest to reclaim your own true life. So again, if you like portal fantasy, you like identity-driven stories, you're really going to get involved in Jason's quest. But what about you guys? Do you have any recommendations out there? Is anybody who's a big-time fantasy-only fan? What are some science fiction books you think they might like? And go ahead and let us know why. What are some of those elements in those books that make you think a fantasy-only fan is going to like to read those?